Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to Barb's Basement. I promise that one day I'm going to figure out where to look when we start streaming.
Just every direction at
Every
once.
fucking time.
Act like we have an audience all around us.
Yes. So, joined as always, the one other time we've done this so far.
Two.
Well, the first one doesn't count.
Yeah.
But by my angelic friend, Zachary.
I am Zach. I was asleep in the corner for like 2 years. I just woke up, so.
He's just skipped over all of the bad things that happened in the world.
Yeah.
Up until everything started. So already we got Zim, the stream's #1 cannibal. And,
Zim, what is up?
Yeah, and then Lord of Edge 95. I say this every time. 95, a good year. But so I figured I should let everyone know right now. I'm very, very, very tired. And I'm exhausted.
Why is that, Brian? Why are you tired?
Because Brian went to the Rat Kingdom.
Ah.
Over the weekend, I went to Disney World for my wife's Disneyland.
World. You got it right that time. Yeah.
I was in Florida, so you can imagine how that went. But I went there for my wife's birthday because I'm a good husband. I like to think.
Indeed, you are.
And I wanted to save it until we got to the podcast, so I've literally said nothing to you about my trip.
No,
which was killing me.
I've been wanting him to tell me about his trip. Now he's gonna tell me about his trip. So
this is gonna start off so fucking lame, like me being like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell this podcast story about me traveling," which is like what everyone does.
But this does relate to Star Wars.
This relates to Star Wars, and that's the reason why I wanted to talk about it. So, first things first, I'm gonna get through all of the travel stuff as quick as humanly possible. Pretty long layover, which is brutal to begin with. I don't know if everyone's ever been stuck in an airport, but if you want to pay $19 for pretty mediocre mac and cheese,
yeah,
it's the place to be. Let me tell you what.
Fun
so,
time.
Stuck in the airport for 4 hours. Landed in Florida at 11 o'clock at night. We stayed at, I won't mention their names, but we stayed at our friend's place. They have their parents live there, so we all got to hang out and spend time with their family or whatever. So, got there super late. Next day, we went to Disney. And this is where the story gets bad for me specifically. So, my wife and everybody around me obviously knows, oh, this guy likes Star Wars. It's literally his only character trait. His whole life is just liking this
wall-to-wall Star Wars.
Wall-to-wall Star Wars. Other people have other interesting things about their personality. Not this guy. That's it.
Wait a minute. How did she pull you out of the basement long enough for you to go?
Barb gave me our Statska style passport to get out of the basement.
All right.
So right away when you get to Disney, it's just a clusterfuck, as everyone is probably aware of. It's just every Midwestern mom and their gaggle of kids who are just coughing into each other's mouths and licking handrails and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they take your fingerprint when you get there.
Really?
Which I find to be so weird.
That is weird. Why?
Right?
Everybody's.
I got no answers for why. I was like, why do they need my fingerprint? And the people we're with were just oh, just do it.
That seems like Big Brother-ish. I don't know.
Well, because they have their own police force and shit.
Oh.
Like Disney does. They influence politics down in Florida. It's a whole thing. Huh. But to make a long story short, we're not from Florida. And the weather in Florida is humid and hot. It's 20 inches from the sun. It's a real Tatooine 2 sun situation.
Oh yeah.
So we're not from there. It was 30 degrees when we left, our Barb's house, and it's 90 degrees when we got there. So
damn,
we're gonna cut to a little bit of adult stuff here. But one of my friends, you'll know who, was like, "Hey, do you want to take some edible devil's lettuce right now?" I was like, yeah, I think I do. So took one of those, and we were walking around all the Star Wars stuff. And it looks cool to a certain extent. It looks pretty tourist trappy.
Gimmicky?
Yes. So in comparison to our Hollywood studios or whatever, it looks like shit. It's really not immersive at all. Which is their whole thing.
Yeah.
It's they want it to look and feel immersive.
What, like, what was it? Is it just like cheaply made stuff?
It looks a
or
little
is it,
cheaply
like...
made, which I find hilarious for it being like
Yeah.
one of the largest companies in the world. But it's like Bach-2 or some shit. It's like not a planet that anyone would be familiar with if they're even like tangentially aware of Star Wars.
Did they just make that up? Is that an actual?
I think it might be the planet that Leia dies on in Episode 9.
Oh, okay.
That planet that everyone knows and loves.
Bach-2.
Jungle planet. But so
is that where they have the celebration at the end?
yes.
But without Ewoks, sadly.
Yeah, no blinking. Actually, they have Ewoks in that movie, but I don't think it's on that planet.
Do they?
Yeah,
Gosh,
they're
that
blinking,
movie.
which I find weird because like they added that in the special edition or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did not have a lot of fun there, which I think everyone was like sort of disappointed, thinking that I would have like every single time we walked in a new space, everyone's like
looking into you for your reaction.
and I'm like, yeah, that's certainly a droid that I'm looking at there. There's like gonk droids and shit like that, which I found to be fun.
That moved and like.
Yeah, I mean, like, the costumes and stuff like that all look good.
So it was, like, people inside these droid costumes.
these poor dudes in these stormtrooper outfits just sweating.
Did the stormtroopers look good, though? I mean, I would hope.
They're, like, first-order stormtroopers, so it's okay.
Is everything, like, first order?
It's all sequel stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah, which I find to be pretty lame. But, the number one thing that I wanted to do if I was going to do anything was going to be to build a lightsaber. Because even if, like, you hate...
Oh, shit. Where's your lightsaber?
So, here's the thing.
Oh,
we couldn't get into, like, the building the lightsaber part because, A, it's got, like, a 6-month-long waiting list. Refer back to, like, the Midwest mom and their gaggle of kids coughing in each other's mouths.
Oh, my God.
So, like, everyone wants to do that. And so I was like, all right, well, we should be able to just, like, pass in super quick to just go buy a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And we walk up there and they're like, oh, hey, do you have the like $400 like fast pass? And we were like, no. Like, cool. Well, it's 2 hours.
Oh my God.
In line in the blazing sun.
To just buy a
lightsaber.
Oh man.
2 hours of your life for the privilege to look at pre-built lightsabers. But I don't want to shit talk it too much because like the company that I was keeping was the fun part.
Yeah.
The people I was with was the fun part.
Yeah.
And
Can you imagine just being there on your own?
Dude, it would be a fate worse than death. That's like my worst nightmare is to be there on my own. Is Disney World the place with Galaxy's Edge? If it is, I always thought it would be cool to get one of those lightsabers if they weren't so damn expensive. Can't sell enough human skin rugs to afford. I love that Zim.
Is that Zim?
Zim is just
good old Zim.
He's in Barb's basement lore.
Oh, he is
as a cannibal.
He is canon. He's Barb's basement canon.
And then Lord of Edge clarifies, nah, Leia dies on Jean Claus Batu. An OC world made for the park. Thank you, Lord of Edge 95. Again, a good year. But
oh man.
So everything has an excruciatingly long line. So anything you want to do, anything you're interested in that is anything of remote interest is going to be like a vacuum suck on your life.
So is that connected to like the rest of the parks or how's the layout?
You can walk from like one park to another. It's like Las Vegas where they don't want you to leave. So they just like pump oxygen into the casinos to make all these divorced dads lose all their money. Goodness. But so while we went to go look at the lightsaber stuff, and they were like, it's like a 2-hour wait. I was like, oh well, we can always like come back or whatever, and like you can put your name in, so you can leave and go do other stuff. Thing is, everything else also has a super long wait. So it's like, how do we stack our time where all these things will line up where I'll get out of this one long line?
That's like a whole like scheduling logistics. I needed to break out an Excel spreadsheet. I know, right?
So we went to go. I can't remember the name. It's like Birth of the Rebellion or the Resistance or something like that.
Sounds like you liked it a lot.
Yeah. So we put our name in for the lightsaber stuff, and then we went to that whatever the name of that ride was. That line, holy shit, dude. It took so long. Like, I felt like I was looking at TikTok to like look at I was like checking analytics.
Yeah.
Like, while I was standing in line. Like, that's like
watching the paint dry.
Yeah. But like it was long enough that some of my friends were able to leave and go get popcorn and then come back.
Okay.
And we were still in line.
They allow that.
Yeah.
Like to
I don't-
rejoin your group in line.
I don't know how like taboo that is for people to do, but like they're like whatever, we don't care.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
like they've seen them there before, basically was what I'm
Right.
getting at. So they're like whatever. Once we got to the front of the line, I was like, oh man, this looks pretty sick. Like you're like in like a Star Destroyer where you see all like these first order stormtroopers, and
and you're in the ride now. Like,
you're in a different hallway.
okay.
So you go through like it looks like a Star Wars cave entrance, and then eventually like you go into like what's supposed to be a Star Destroyer type situation, and there's all like these, they're like essentially actors. They're like trying to make you feel like you're in the world.
Yeah.
So like I was like trying to like not be like rolling my eyes at it, because I don't want to make like that's like the Midwesterner in me, where I don't want to make this lady who's just trying her best
Yeah.
just to like get through another shift. But it all looked really good when you got into the line. The thing is, we waited like an hour and 45 minutes for a ride that lasted like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was expecting, like all my friends would tell me, this is the best ride at Disney. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like ready to get like immersed into it. I want to see some kids getting killed by Anakin. I want to see like a Battle of Coruscant type situation.
But it was just sequel stuff.
Just sequel stuff. And you're more or less like on rails, like in like a cart. Like in like a
Was it like
truck.
a Star Wars-y cart?
Oh, no, you're just like in a 1995 Honda Civic. But
Did it resemble something from?
yeah, I mean, it looks like just like a transport ship that would
Okay.
be. You're not like in like a flying ship, but like you get in a flying ship to leave that base to then go into a different place
Yeah.
where the ride actually happens.
Okay.
The first part of it is more or less just a glorified other line, but you're just like in Star Wars stuff.
The ride to the ride.
The ride to the ride. We're engaged to be engaged. So after you get on the ship and like it's they just have like shit on like screens where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Poe Dameron's here, and he's like, we gotta get to the thing, and like he just looks dead inside, like because it's Oscar Isaac.
Is it?
So he's just like, oh, the First Order TIE fighters look
So,
like he's
so
not
they
trying.
made him act for that in order to,
Yes.
to put that in there.
Yes.
I mean, I hope he got a lot of money at least.
Kylie's chiming in. She says, "Rise of the Resistance." Thank you. So,
All right, Kylie.
all right, Kylie. But the ride to the ride, where it's got like animatronics. It's one Mon Calamari, not Admiral Akbar. It's like the other guy who's in one of the sequels, I think. But that stuff all looked cool.
Okay.
And then you get into a cart, and then it's like an on-rails cart that like just kind of spins you around and shit. And all the hologram technology looks really cool. Like you'll see like Rey pops up, and she's really trying. Like Daisy Ridley,
Is it? And it's her.
it's her. She's really giving a shit. Oscar Isaac is like, I'm here. But Daisy really tried. But the 3D technology looked like the hologram technology looked sick. Like it looked really cool.
Yeah.
Like to witness it in person. But the ride is on rails. You're just zipping around, just experiencing the thing happen. And two different carts go at the same time. So these two carts like were separate on different types of ride or whatever. There's a part where you zoom in and you're like, whoom, and you can see each other.
Oh.
And me and this one other guy just made full eye contact the entire time that we were going across. So
it was awkward.
It was a little awkward, but you get through it and it's like cool or whatever. But like it's done in a flash, blink of an eye. It's really not worth like the time sink in my opinion.
Oh man, yeah, 3 hours you said?
2 hours for
Okay.
like a pretty okayish ride.
Yeah, I mean,
I was expecting like a 20-minute experience at least.
I guess that's Disney for you. I mean, that's probably everywhere in Disney.
Oh, I mean, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I think at least a roller coaster's
Yeah.
more involved. You know what I mean?
So how did the lightsaber thing end? You never got one.
We'll get around to that.
Okay.
So after we like wait in this line in blazing sun, I'm wearing pants, black pants,
Oh damn.
which was certainly a decision. That
Like
I
black
made.
skinny jean type situation?
I mean, like what I'm wearing now.
Okay.
That's also why I'm dressed so fucking like blue shirt on black pants and a flannels because I just got home today. So after we wait in this atrociously long line, we get out, we walk across the park. Our time's coming up for us to like go and do the lightsaber thing, and that part was genuinely cool. So you get to like go in to look at all these different lightsabers of like all these, but it's like a grocery store where you go up to the front of the line and there's like all these things that they're like, well, you could get like a 24 pack of gum right here if you wanted it. Do you want like a Dr. Pepper?
That's not immersive.
It's not packs of gum. What I'm saying is there are other things there that they're like, you can get this holocron for like $40.
Oh, okay. So at least it's Star Wars
It's Star Wars,
related.
it would be, but my friend, I'll say his name, Connor, bought me thermal detonator drinks that are Coca-Cola, but they're shaped like a thermal detonator. And that's like in Arabic.
Did you keep them?
We did.
Okay.
I was like, those are pretty cool. I was like,
Nice.
that's like a cool little synergy brand thing or whatever. But so we went and looked at the lightsabers, and they had like a plethora of different ones. They had like Count Dooku. They had a Rey lightsaber.
Like hilts, basically.
Yeah, and then like you can get blades for them or whatever.
Yeah.
And like they come in like 3 different sizes, like the shortest one, middle one, then like the
You
longest
can't
one.
customize your own hilt?
That would be the building the lightsaber thing that I didn't get to do.
Oh, you're just talking about
Just the 2-hour line for the privilege to buy a lightsaber. That's
Oh,
already
damn.
made.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I was looking at all the lightsabers, and one of our friends got Count Dooku, which looked sick as shit.
Yeah.
And then, God damn, what was the other one they got? It's gonna drive me nuts. Whatever. She got Count Dooku, which was the coolest one, because like the curved hilt or whatever. So that day, the guy who like worked up at the front of the line, who just clearly loved the shit out of his job, he was like so hyped to be there. He was like,
We should have him on. We should bring him
We'll
to the basement.
fly him in. He'll come into the basement, then he can never leave.
That's right. Never. He'll be our third co-host.
Yeah. But he was like, well, it just so happens that the Cal Kestis lightsaber just came out today, and it's a park exclusive lightsaber. And he was like,
Ooh.
where it's on sale for
It's like you can get it nowhere else.
apparently.
Allegedly.
There's got to be somebody like online that makes
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Whatever. So, for the audience, I have cleverly hid this lightsaber that I bought with the blade because I wanted Zach to look at it.
Holy shit. I didn't know this.
It's a real Oprah situation.
I didn't know this.
Everybody gets a new gun.
You get a lightsaber.
Look over right over here.
Oh,
That little case right there.
Oh, man.
And then behind that, over next to the bookshelf, is the blade. So get the lightsaber out first, I suppose.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm glad I don't want one of those lightsabers anymore.
I feel like a kid on Christmas here.
Zim, you're gonna have to sell like at least a couple like human rugs too.
Oh, I think
For
I
the
opened it
privilege
the
of
wrong
like
way. Oh shit. I opened it upside down. Oh my gosh.
Feel the heft of that bitch.
Damn. This is sweet.
So open up the underneath of that.
This is the activator?
Yeah. So underneath of that, like,
It says on off.
It's
Do you
not
think
an
the
air
real
mesh.
lightsabers say that?
For all the Padawans, it's like this button means on.
Can see it very well on the stream?
Look underneath like that, like what's supposed to look like a velvet thing.
Okay.
Get this exclusive.
Put this
lightsaber
down so I
only
don't
at
drop
Disney,
it.
All caps.
Ooh. What is this little piece we got going?
So that's supposed to be like the damage
best
end of it,
way?
because like you can customize your lightsaber in that game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like the other end of it that you can customize. So unscrew the bottom of that thing. You can see like where it lines up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you can screw it in.
Yes.
This part right here?
And then like the battery packs like underneath of that thing.
Ooh.
A lot of AA batteries in the galaxy
And then
far away.
and then you screw this in.
Yeah. Here, I'll take that guy for you.
Okay. Cuz he broke his like this in the
It's supposed to be like you can like customize his lightsaber or whatever.
Okay.
This is gonna be a little bit awkward for us to like get this blade out of here. But
Holy shit.
are you able to reach?
Here,
it?
yeah, I'm able to reach it. I did not even realize you did that.
'Cause
when did you do that?
Dude, it's been there the entire time you've been here tonight.
Oh man, I'm just highly unobservant, I guess.
Yes.
Is this open? Let's see.
Yeah, the other end's open.
Okay.
Because of course I had to open it and play with it.
Oh, of course. Man, this is like back when we were kids. when we were able to get out of the basement for a time.
Yeah. Here, I'll hold this up so you can like slide it out of there.
Okay. Oh shit.
Boom.
So these are these the same like Force? What is it? FX?
I think that
lightsaber?
they do, like, do their own thing now.
Do you just like plug it in?
It should make a noise when it's like you have to push it a little bit harder. There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now hit the button.
Now it's ready?
It should be.
Oh,
It's been a little wonky after we got it.
Oh, yeah. That feels nice. I don't know if you guys can hear those sounds.
It's probably loud as shit.
It probably is. They can't even hear us now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This thing is hefty. You're right.
It's a good murder weapon.
Damn.
None of those knobs do anything. I already tried.
That is sweet.
So right after I got that thing, my friend Connor was like, "Does it make sound when you hit other things?" And he just goes and shakes the shit out of it, and you can see it like turning white. So like,
oh no.
Yeah, see, it's a little wonky. That's what I mean. Like push down a little bit. There you go.
Because the other ones didn't separate.
Yeah, there's no separation between the blades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has to be like in there snug.
So if I hit you,
it doesn't make any noise.
It doesn't?
We discovered that after Connor like nearly broke it.
The other ones did.
They do.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Are you disappointed?
I'm a little disappointed in that. But
wait, they do the waving sound.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And
they,
they turn.
I did
and
hear
now it's like officially unplugged, I think.
Oh man. They are a little bit janky, aren't they?
A little bit.
I thought I heard a hitting sound.
So
it just turns off if you do that. So basically, they're
only for display.
So Moses cannot touch this.
Yes. So I waited in line for
and
like
then you just slide this
hours.
Out. Damn.
But I will say this about this Disney product.
Get that box there.
The hilt is super fucking nice.
Yeah, the hilt is amazing.
Yeah, the hilt's dope.
I'm a little disappointed in the blade.
Yes. So we're gonna move on to like the really fun part about my trip to Disney.
Sweet.
So
can I just have this with me?
Absolutely. It's gonna be like
the whole time.
A set prop.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get on to the really fun part about my trip to Disney. So after we got done with like all the Star Wars stuff, I went and had like a $25 bowl of poke.
Nice.
Whatever. Raw fish over rice. Our other friend really wanted to go and ride like the Aerosmith ride, like some like rockin' roller coaster, some stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we walk across the parking lot. We walk across the park, and I don't want to go on it because I'm just like, I hate roller coasters.
You do?
Can't stand them.
I didn't know
they
that.
make me sick. Like, especially like anything with a screen where you're moving, but the screen showing something else that's moving gives me really terrible vertigo, and I get kind of ill. So I was like, well, you guys can go right on that, and I'll just hang out. So they went and did that, and I sat there and had like a frozen lemonade thing in like direct sunlight. And my edible devil's lettuce thing had worn off. And I was like, okay, well, I'm no longer feeling that. I stood up, and I was like, I don't feel right. So we went and sat in the shade for a little bit. And after they got off the ride, we all got up to start walking across the park back over to the Star Wars stuff. And my friend Connor was like, you trying to shoulder check me right now? And I was like leaning into him. And I was like, no. It's like, no, I'm just fucking with you. I kept walking.
Like trying to play it off.
And then I remember this, like the last thing I remember seeing as like I was like still aware was I looked up and I saw this dad, sunscreen all over his face, on like his fourth mojito, trying to like just bear the responsibility of having his kids at Disney World.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and his face looking at me, I was like, I'm not acting normal. Like, he was like giving me like kind of like a weird
What do you
look.
think you were doing?
So Brian had a full-on heat stroke. So as I was walking across the park, I was like, I'm not sweating. And my friend Connor was like, oh man, sweat on my shirt. I was like, I feel fine. And as we got past that dude who was like giving me the weird look, I told everybody I was with, I was like, I gotta stop for a second. And went and leaned up against the trash can. I was like, was like, I don't feel right. So they went and got me water. And I was like, I'm about to pass out right now. I'm about to faint. And so we went over to the shade. Everybody else went to go on a ride because they're like, oh, he's probably just like having a moment because of the edible stuff.
So they just left you.
Connor and one of our other friends stayed. But I scarred this friend for life because Connor was trying to like tell me a story to like try and calm me down. To like, because I was like, I was probably just pale, like bone white.
Mm-hmm.
And our other friend was just trying to play it cool, like like I wasn't dying. And so in the middle of Connor's story, I was like, I'm gonna fucking faint. Like I started to stand up, and I looked over at our other friend, and I saw her going. And I sat back down, and she was like, "Do we need to call medical services?" And I was like, "I just got to get through this." And so I like poured water over the back of my head and started drinking water. It, no joke, took me like 4 hours to stop having a heat stroke.
You were there that entire time?
They were like, oh, let's get up and leave. We're like tired of being here. I was like, if I get up from this table and I walk away, I'm going to the dentist because I'm just going to smash directly into my teeth.
Jeez.
Like, it was like so fucking bad.
Jeez.
So.
Just dehydration or?
I was pounding water like a motherfucker.
That's weird.
So I found out one of the medications that I just had to be on causes heat intolerance.
Mm.
And then I went out in like Florida sun and nearly died. So
that'll do it.
That's Brian's big takeaway from this Disney trip is apparently I'm just a huge pussy and I can't be out in the sun. So after waiting in line.
But you got a sweet lightsaber.
I got a sweet lightsaber after nearly having to take a dentist trip after nearly falling over. But one of our other friends is a nurse and she had some saline bags. And
she did?
Yeah. So when we went over
just
to
like in her pocket.
No, she had like some, I don't remember where she got them from, but she injected me with an IV and pumped liquid into me the next day, and that's when I started
like
feeling
at home
again.
IV.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Yeah. Like, there's like bars and stuff like that that'll like come around and give you IVs.
Huh.
Yeah, but that was when I started to feel like me again. But like it took a whole day where I was just like, everyone's having a good time, and I'm just like staring at the ceiling.
Now you know.
Yeah, now I know. But overall review of Disney World, unless you are filthy rich and you have enough money to
do the fast pass, right?
To look down on the rabble as like you walk by saying, "Let them have cake." There's literally no reason for you to go. Like
it's a real Marie Antoinette situation.
Like if you gotta go sit your kids in like the shade. And then you have to go wait in line and then text your wife.
Yeah, no, I have a kid and I could not.
You have had the worst fucking time.
At the stage, especially at the stage he's at right now, he's like at a difficult stage, and I cannot imagine like wrangling him in that situation. Like he would be all over the place.
But I'm sure he would love to get outside of the basement at some point.
Yeah. Hey, be quiet over there.
Shut up. Be quiet. Get back in your bed. But yeah, that's like my general overall thoughts of Disney World was I liked the people I was with, and that was enough for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I would not go again unless I had just won the lottery.
For sure.
Because also fuck, that was a really funny thing. There's all these dudes walking around like in like shorts. They look kind of like UPS men. And they have like on these yellow badges, and there's all these families who like are clearly very well off, and they just have to like ferry these people around like they're VIPs, like they bought like VIP passes.
So who are those? They're
just rich, and the dudes who are
and they just have like people escorting them around or something.
Who's like palming kids from like
that's like
Utah.
That's
like,
a
get
thing?
out of here, kid. This family that's got oil money is coming through.
Oh my gosh.
They're kicking strollers down the street, telling these people Disney facts. And I saw this one guy when I was starting to feel my heat stroke. You could see him like turn it off and on. Like the family's like, "Oh, so what about this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, like in Disney, like in yada yada yada." And then they all turn around and like point at another thing, and you see him just go. It's like this guy's dead inside. But yeah, you should be happy that you didn't come, because you probably wouldn't have had that great of a time.
I mean, I would have gotten a sweet lightsaber, but yeah,
I think it was like $250 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly, that sounds cheap to me.
But
for these.
the lightsaber blade was like another like $65.
Okay.
So that's how they get you.
Yeah, we used to play with the ones as kids. You still have them here.
Yeah, just none of them operate.
Yeah, because we like
Well,
fought the shit out of them.
one of them probably turns on, but like it's Mace Windu's. It like goes up halfway, then it's like no lights, and the very tip is lit again.
But my point is that when they were in their prime, they were like super durable.
Oh yeah.
Do they make those specific ones anymore?
I don't know.
Or is it just where it connects?
The blade comes out.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think that they want you to be able to display that.
Yeah, because this hilt is like undeniably better.
Oh yeah.
Than those that we had. But I'm disappointed that the blade's like so wonky.
Like you move it at all and it disconnects.
Yeah.
I think there was supposed to be like a mechanism where you could lock it in, but none of our lightsabers did that.
I guess it's just like a more for show type thing.
Yeah, I plan on just like buying like a thing for it and like leaving it up here somewhere or whatever.
We're gonna should we display it right here?
So that Darth Bane Rule of 2 book is like a gloss finish and I fucking hate it.
Right there. Can they see that? Oh yeah, they can.
Do you think it's that or like a like a sex thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, Florida trip was fun overall, but I never want to be out in the sun that long again.
Yeah.
Is my overall view.
Now you know.
But speaking of us playing with those as kids, Zim says, I remember when I was a kid, my brother and I would find sticks and smaller diameter PVC pipes, pretend they were lightsabers or blasters. Good times.
Oh yeah.
It's always better when you have that imagination.
Oh yeah. We fighting with those things just brought an extra level of like coolness to it.
Joy to our lives at that point.
Because we would go out at like dusk, when it was like, or nighttime even.
In my parents' backyard.
And then you could just see that glow from those sabers.
I remember taking those over to my brother's place. And we were fucking around with them like out next to the river. Because, of course,
I remember that too.
Kids just always fuck around next to a river, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these dudes came out and they were like, oh, we thought you guys were the cops. Like they saw like a red and blue lightsaber because we had 2 of Anakin's.
Oh.
That Darth Vader one you guys just obliterated. That thing was smashed.
You have that
atoms.
still?
No, we threw it away because like the blade of it was broken. Like there was like 1/3 of it left when you guys were done with it.
My bad.
It was like the first, like my
Good
mom
times,
was
though.
so hyped on these lightsabers. They're like, wham, broke them right in fucking half. My poor mom. I thought about buying her one, but I was like,
I should buy her one.
You and all my brothers should.
If I ever get out of this basement, that's the first.
We're gonna get a job.
First order of business.
Get a job and buy my mom lightsabers.
So while you were gone, I read, or really listened to, with
No, you read it. You read it with your
ears. Same thing.
Yeah.
Revan for the very first time.
I love that.
Now you don't like this book.
I fucking hate that book.
Why?
Well, first off, tell me the things that you like about it before I shit on it. Tell me your review of it.
I thought it was a lot of Star Wars books aren't that well written.
How dare you?
But I thought this was like decently written at least.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some things got a little bit cheesy just because like Star Wars does that sometimes.
Star Wars schmaltz.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was fairly well written for a Star Wars book. And I feel like it gave you a ton of like rich like lore. And I love the way that they like basically encompassed like Revan's past, like what happened to him. When he was fighting the Republic, the Jedi Civil War.
He was being Revan.
And then they even went into like KOTOR 2 era and like the exile, Mitra Surik.
Mitra Surik.
Yes. And she was even a character in that, which I was like, cool. Maybe it's just because I love the KOTOR games so much.
Which is funny because that's like the reason why most people hate them.
I don't know. I had a good time with it. Maybe I'm an outlier, but
I mean, I definitely seen people like on Reddit, like, oh, I don't understand the hate for it. And then there's like some dude. Actually, I feel like I've seen Lord of Edge. Maybe typing something about why he either liked it or disliked it.
It was fun to get the backstory of the Emperor too. Like,
oh, this shit.
Not Palpatine. Yeah.
The other Emperor.
the like killed an entire planet to gain power Emperor.
I think that he's probably like really heavily criticized for most people.
I mean, it's because he's overpowered, right?
I mean, he's basically a god.
Right. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know. I just liked it. It was just.
I can't explain it. I just liked it.
And then you got the whole story with like Lord Scourge.
Which he's a not playable. He's a companion in
in the Old Republic, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which we're like SWTOR apologists, though.
And I knew that their stories were going to come together because it first starts with like, okay, Revan's having these visions of like the lightning world or whatever. It turns out to be Dromund Kaas, I believe.
Yeah. Exegol.
So like, so he just, I found it funny though that he just like goes off once again into the unknown regions. There goes Revan again. like that was his whole problem from before. Right?
Yeah, like that was literally the reason
like
why he came back as a bad guy.
Yeah. Well, and we got the backstory of why he turned to the dark side.
That's what I really want to get your opinion on. Is how you feel about why.
I thought it was fine.
Holy shit!
You didn't like that?
No, that's. I don't mean to react to it that way. I'm just excited to see how other people feel about what you're saying.
I may be an outlier. I don't know. I think I'm just like, there's something about the nostalgia, because man, KOTOR 1 for me is like, that's like,
we played that game so fucking
that's like my childhood. Like I have just such good memories from it. And I guess I had never gone through this Revan book. And so it was like, it was almost just like jumping back into KOTOR 1. And you're getting that like backstory and that like cushion and whatnot.
Yeah.
I realize that a lot of that stuff is over the top. And the Emperor is like, but I don't know. He's not exactly a god, because when they go to confront him, like it's the three of them. It's Mitra,
Scourge?
and then Scourge joins them, which I thought was kind of cool. Like Dark Lord of Sith working with Jedi.
Literally a Sith.
Yeah. And to me, Revan is like, I don't know, a gray Jedi, or he's not like the Obi-Wans or the Yodas or the Mace Windu's. Like he's so like gray, you know what I mean? And maybe that's just because he went to the dark side, and
he's got the red and the purple lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been to Disney World. He got all of them.
Yeah, he got all of them. He waited in that line.
in that cloak too. He's like, holy shit! I wish I wasn't wearing this Mandalorian mask.
I don't know. I enjoyed getting like the full story of it, and they even went like, what did you think about the end? Do you remember the ending? Yeah, the ending was interesting.
So, I'll give you like my quick first reaction to it, but I want it to still kind of be like, I think I quit fucking with my mic, but I still want it to be like, I want to get your opinions on it. So, it's written by Drew Karpyshyn, I think is how you say his last name.
Yeah, I've never tried to say his name.
Yeah. But he wrote the Darthban Trilogy, which is like some of my favorite Star Wars content ever.
Yeah.
I've told you this several times, but like when the third book came out, I read it in one sitting, like over Christmas, just completely ignored my family. I was just flipping through, reading it on the way to like my family's Christmas, which gave me car sickness. But when the Revan book came out, I was like horny for it. I was like so hyped to read it.
You hyped it too much. Was that it? I mean, is that it?
That might be a little bit of it, but I was really expecting like more Bastila stuff, and she's like barely involved. Canderous Ordo, I liked him being involved, like when they, he leaves behind his mask.
Yeah, the mask.
Leaves behind like Mandalore's
mask. Yeah, he becomes Mandalore.
Yeah. So there are some things that I like about it, but what I really dislike about it is it removes the agency of Revan, where him and Malak go to the unknown regions, and they're made Sith Lords by the Emperor, being like, "Ooh," and they're like, "Deal." like his whole.
So you would rather them have
just been bad guys?
Okay.
I would have rather Revan had just been, like he just got ruined by war. Is like he started for a noble cause, but he saw like the Mandalorians like nuking a planet into glass, which is they did that. So I would have liked to have just like kept it as that was his validation for being a bad guy.
Yeah,
because like he was a good guy in his own.
So in your mind, it's kind of a cop out that the Emperor just
the Emperor did it.
Yeah.
Like because that's like the whole, and a lot of people blame SWTOR for the Revan book being the way it is because it has to like build into the Emperor and like the factions.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
So a lot of people blame it for it being that way, which I totally get. But again, it's Star Wars content, and I'm just a shill for anything Star Wars. So, but I don't like that they remove his agency, and I don't love that Mitra Sorik is because like the Exile. I like KOTOR 2 more than KOTOR 1. Like the twist of KOTOR 1 is awesome.
Yeah.
And I love ancient alien shit just in general.
Yeah.
I don't believe in ancient alien stuff. I just find it fascinating that people believe it. And it's like fun to think about. But I like that the Rakata and stuff like that. Revan going to Lahone and like he found all that stuff because he was just he was on the History Channel watching ancient aliens and like, oh, check that planet out. But I don't like what they do with the Exile where she just like gets. I know that she followed Revan before during the Mandalorian Wars and she just gets like sort of unceremoniously killed, like at the end of the book.
Well, she gets betrayed by Scourge.
Yeah, well, I kind of just didn't want her to die. I guess might be part of my problem.
That's fair.
Yeah, but RN Jesus, which I love that name. I see him all the time in Discords and stuff like that. He said, I liked it when I first read it, but I feel like it ages poorly the more you look at it. But the audiobook is really really good. Great voice acting. Is that Mark Thompson?
It is Mark Thompson, yeah. That might honestly,
be why you like it so much.
That, yes. Because that's the other thing. I do so many audiobooks, and I'm such a slut for like a really good narrator, which Mark Thompson is.
Every time he does good.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of favorite narrators, but like they could just like read a grocery list, and it would be like the best thing ever.
He may have like on his because I think he has a TikTok.
Did he do that on there?
I think he may have. But yeah, he's
so great.
Fucking good.
He's great. Yeah.
And I think that maybe a part of like my problem with it is just that Revan has a personality and like you're not able to imprint like the choices you made in KOTOR onto him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that like you're kind of bringing a video game into like a video game where you're supposed to have choices into like canon. So obviously choices will have to be made for you.
Yeah. And like the canon of KOTOR is that Revan just becomes a good guy.
You're right there.
Swallowed wrong. So I don't know. Like I can understand why you liked it because Mark Thompson and it's like
I don't know.
Star Wars stuff.
I just had fun.
Had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
But like when you texted me and told me you were gonna read it, I was like, why the Revan book out of everything? Like what
I had never done it before. All of the Old Republic books. I'm
the rest of them are skippable.
This is what we have to look forward to. I'm gonna go through all of them, and we're gonna talk about all of them. So
it's been a long time since I've read Battle Alliance.
Because for me, as far as my Star Wars novel history goes, is I did a ton of the, after Return of the Jedi, Luke stuff, and like Thrawn and Jedi Search and all that.
Kevin J. Anderson.
Yeah, I did a bunch of those, but I feel like when Revan was coming out, when all the Old Republic stuff was coming out, I was like, I don't know, off doing other stuff. Like it was always on my radar.
You knew that they were there.
I knew that they were there. I knew the like basic lore, sort of like but yeah, no,
you just enjoyed it.
I did. I did.
Fair enough. But I'm like really excited to see how because it's a very divisive book in Star Wars in general, which everything's sort of divisive in Star Wars.
That's the thing is that like, I mean, you got people will go to war over like, episode 8 or like what have you, or like the Thrawn trilogy. The Thrawn trilogy is pretty much universally accepted.
Universally loved. Yeah. With that being said, Troy Denning should be chucked into a volcano. He fucking ruined Star Wars. I'm not joking. If anyone liked the Killick shit, where everyone's having a bug orgy, and it's brought up constantly.
Okay, where is this?
Don't even get me started. uh, he was like basically given the Star Wars universe for some goddamn reason. Like he's also very divisive. I've only seen like a few people like really like defending him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're like one of the discords I'm a part of. If you type in bug sex, a photo of Troy Denning pops up because like if you really don't like Episode 8 or the sequel trilogy, I'm gonna say this might be hit a nerve with some people. All of Troy Denning's shit is worse than the sequels by like a country mile. Like I read all of the Fate of the Jedi series, and some people like that stuff.
Is that the very last?
That's like
series?
one of the last. Yeah, Darth Krayt shows up in it for a minute, and that's the only thing I like from it.
Otherwise, you didn't.
Otherwise, I pretty much universally didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like Troy Denning doesn't write all of that, but like he was given a lot of the very late in the game EU stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that maybe like Lucasfilm was just kind of clocked out at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, sure, let's give it to this fucking depraved weirdo who's just really wants these two characters to bang, and so we're gonna like let him like manifest that into reality.
Yeah, I didn't do those.
You should read the Killick stuff. I really want to hear your opinion on it because it's like pretty gross.
I will.
I think we might have somebody saying something about this. About Troy Denning, is he worse than Chuck Wendig as an author?
Yeah, I did not like the Aftermath, right?
Did Chuck Wendig write that?
I think it was.
I don't think I have Siri on, so I can't ask her.
Anyway, yes, I agree though with that comment.
Yeah. I mean, the Aftermath stuff. If Chuck Wendig did write that, I can't remember. You should Google it really quick while I'm.
I just found it to be like. I couldn't even finish it. Like I was just so. I remember just being bored by it.
Lord of Edge, forearms with the antennae of whatever insect they happen to be facing. Alima bowed as well, but rub Raku instead Aftermath. Of arms. It does look a little unnatural, they admitted. Not at all. Oh my god. C-3PO assured them, it's a bonding dance. Welcome to the birth of a new day. They perform it once a week before they go to the harem cave to mate. Excerpt from the Joiner King.
What book is this? What book is this in? I don't even know.
That's the Dark Nest like trilogy.
Oh, the Dark Nest.
Yes.
Okay.
I always saw it at Borders back when Borders was a thing. And I was like, Mom, can you buy me this book? And I was like, what the fuck is this? It was so depraved.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Aftermath, that was
Denning is better than Wendig. He's got some good action. Denning's fight scenes are kino, but the rest is questionable to say the least. He was given like Legacy of the Force as well, so wasn't Chuck Wendig?
Yeah, the Aftermath.
I mean, what I can say,
that it looks like, yeah.
I listened to Aftermath on Audible when it first came out, and we talked about this last time. It's just boring.
Yeah, that's what my whole thing. Like nothing's like what is happening?
I mean, at least you can say that things are happening in Troy Denning's books.
Yeah.
You're saying, "Oh God, why?" as you're looking through like your fingers at the book, but something's happening.
Yeah.
Aftermath is words on a page.
Yeah.
It's not like worth anyone's time out. Like.
Yeah, if it was almost like they were, because that was written after the transition or just before.
Click on the that first. Just type in Aftermath really quick, just to see like when the.
Well, this is the guy I'm talking about.
But what's like the date of the release? Because that I think that was like the first book that came out in canon.
Oh, shit.
Disney canon, I should say.
Yeah, I think that they were just basically trying to like fill time.
A lot of Star Wars books, like right after the Disney purchase, were like that.
Yeah,
they were just like filling air until like the sequel trilogy.
That's what it felt like. Let's see, release date September 4th,
2015.
2015.
And
yeah,
I think it got bought out in 2014. Is Lucasfilm got bought?
Oh, I forget.
Right.
So right around there.
Yeah. So all of the books except for the Thrawn books when they first started being released, because Timothy Zahn started like writing Thrawn books that were in current canon. those were the only ones that were like really worth. I think those are still the only ones that are worth anyone's time right now.
Yeah.
Everything else, Star Wars canon comic books are the only good thing happening in Star Wars literature, in my opinion. Outside of the 3 main books of the High Republic, because those are the only ones I've read from the High Republic stuff. You've read all the other things.
High
Them,
Republic.
you've read more than me, I should say.
Wait, which ones are the only ones you've read?
The main 3.
Oh, so Light, Rising Storm, Fallen Star. Did you finish Fallen Star?
I'm like 3/4 the way done with it now.
Oh my
I was listening to it on
gosh.
the plane.
I don't know. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can.
I feel it's
It's
not
been long
it's not
enough.
spoilers.
It's been long enough.
Okay. It's just like the entire book. Okay, so they smuggle in bombs disguised as like a Rathtar shipment, right? Isn't that how
Rathars too?
Isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, so and then they blow up Starlight, but Starlight the entire book is just blowing up. And the Jedi are just Stellan Gios is running around like, oh, the oxygen of the quarter left flank of the midsection of the ship is down. Can you go? It's like, what is happening?
Do more things.
Yeah, they're just running around. I'm doing the audiobook. It's Mark Thompson.
So maybe he wouldn't be good at narrating a grocery list if he couldn't get you interested in Fallen
No,
Star.
well, that's the thing is that he's doing his utmost.
I mean, he always is.
Always. But the writing, it's just like nothing, literally nothing's happening. Just the ship is like slowly exploding and like falling towards the planet and like, okay, so the Great Leveler's on board too, I guess.
I mean, why not?
And it's like killing off Jedi, but basically like, what's his face? The guy with the firehound,
Bell Zettifar.
Bell Zettifar is just running around, and then he's like, "Oh no, another dusty Jedi!"
Another dusty Jedi.
That's
He's like kicking masteroids out of the way so they don't vacuum him up.
Exactly. But that is like, and then we're back to like, oh, this part of the ship's exploding or what?
Yeah. So
it's like this could have been part 1.
Yeah.
Of like 4 parts or something. Like, do something else. Like, we get it. Starlight's exploding. You know what I mean?
Let's move past it.
Exactly. And maybe something happens at the end.
Well,
but
I think your main problem with it is that we get 3 books of disasters happening.
That's the other problem I have is that I feel like the entire time throughout all of those High Republic books, it's just like these random space pirates come out of fucking nowhere, and the Jedi, this wise and powerful Jedi Order, of which Yoda is a part, are just getting their
sexy young Yoda
are just getting their shit rocked constantly by like these pranksters. Like
these pranksters.
I just picture Marshawn Rowe just like, let's put a starship in the path of another starship and see what happens.
I think his actual line behind the scenes was, let's do the Holdo maneuver.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It's the nuke of Star Wars.
Yeah.
If the Death Star wasn't already the nuke of Star Wars. But
there's always a new nuke in Star Wars.
But when I was listening to it on the plane, I was like thinking, that's probably Zach's problem with it, is that it's another, because Light of the Jedi is the Great Hyperspace Disaster.
I did like Light of the Jedi. I did like that. Maybe it was because it was fresh. It was because
my favorite one is still
Rising Storm.
Rising Storm. Thank you.
Yeah, Rising Storm. Yeah.
But Rising Storm is also a book that's predominantly like the Republic Fair, just blowing up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like they focus, like Light of the Jedi, Great Hyperspace Disaster. That's the whole book, pretty much. Rising Storm, Republic Fair, Fallen Star. We got Starlight Beacon. It's just like, okay, cool, the Nihil blowing more. Another thing that you spent like trillions and billions of credits doing, and they're just like annihilate.
Disneyland fun bucks.
I don't know.
But I think that like the way that they're written, like the nature of how they're written, like being from multiple characters, like perspective of the same disaster happening, it comes off as a little lazy. Because it's like an easy writing convention that you're bouncing around from Stellan Gios' perspective of Starlight Beacon blowing up to Bell Zettifar's perspective of Starlight
And it's
Beacon
almost
blowing
like you're going back in time each time.
Yeah.
And you're just getting like the same thing happening from the perspective of like another Jedi.
God, with the Dusty Jedi part. Jesus, that's so fucking funny.
Another Dusty Jedi.
Oh, what? Not loading Greatstorm.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't know. We've been shitting on High Republic a lot.
I feel like I've just mostly spent this entire time just shitting on Disney Star Wars in general.
Well, and then you were shitting on Revan, which I liked Revan.
And I did a good deal of shitting on Troy Denning.
True.
Is Troy Denning still alive? Google
what
that.
do you like in Star Wars?
I mean, everyone knows that I love Legacy, Dawn of the Jedi,
Yes.
the Republic comic books. That's all just edgy stuff in Star Wars, I suppose.
Like the more like adult
Like dark
light
stuff, I
content,
guess.
darker, grimmer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but I also like the New Jedi Order stuff, like the Yuuzhan Vong
Yeah.
stuff. But that's literally just grim dark stuff. Where
The
whole planet's
that's the other
getting
thing
ripped
about
apart.
that's the other thing about the High Republic stuff is it is really fluffy and like
it gets so close to being
some
great.
parts get darker, like when he kicked in that bird guy's skull or whatever.
And when Bell Zettifar's master who he'd been looking for dies in front of him.
So it has like its dark moments, but overall the way that they're approaching it, it's probably just because like they're simultaneously releasing those YA and like young reader level novels as well, which I did do a couple of those. I know you didn't do the one with Rhys Silas where they like introduced the Drengir.
Is that the one that who's the one with the lightsaber whip?
Yeah, and Vernestra Rowe. Yeah,
You're so good at remembering names.
For High Republic, I know. For some reason, she's in like a middle grade novel. I don't remember the name of it, but
Out of the Shadows or something.
that was the one I was just talking about.
Okay.
With the Drengir, I think the Drengir are introduced. They're either introduced in that one or the comic. I'm not sure which came first.
They might be introduced in the comic.
Okay.
But like it borders on being really good. Like it gets so close.
Yeah.
To being like a really solid Star Wars book.
And so far we have a Star Wars that is seemingly devoid of Sith, right?
Which is so fucking annoying.
But I mean, presumably they're out there, or do we know?
I mean, they have to be out there because
is there any legends?
Sith.
I mean, legends doesn't count, I guess, but like in that time period in legends,
I think like the furthest they get along. So in the Bane stuff,
that's 1,000 years before.
1,000 years before. Darth Bane has Darth Zana. I've made that sound like he hatched her out of an egg or something. But that's like his apprentice. Once she beats Darth Bane, she has like there's this bounty hunter who's force sensitive, and she becomes Darth Cognis. And she has an apprentice named like Darth Millennial, I think, which is like an hilarious like hindsight name. I'm just picturing like a dude with like eating avocado toast, like all your typical like boomer shit that they think like millennials are like.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like, oh, check out this vinyl hollow fucking record I got, or some shit, something like that. But so like that's like the furthest they get into like the Baneite Sith, like where it's like the hidden Sith who are like hiding out in the background. But not Darth, but Lumaya, who's like one of Luke's like big enemies for a long time, she references a Sith Lord named Darth Vectivus, who she's like, oh, he was a good Sith Lord, which I'm like positive is just like a straight up lie. Like I think a lot of people take that at face value that she's literally referencing a Sith Lord who was just he used the dark side but he wasn't an evil guy. which inherently the dark side is evil. But so people, I think they take that at face value, but I don't think that he is. It's unclear like when he exists, like who was his master and who was his master's master, yada yada, whatever. So it's like Darth Millennial, Darth Cognis, and then Darth Venomous to Darth Plagueis, and then all the Sith that we know from there.
So there's a gap.
There's a huge gap.
Yeah.
There's like a 900-year gap between like Sith Lords.
Yeah.
Which we don't need to see all of that stuff. Like not literally every single thing in Star Wars needs to be explained.
No.
And I think it makes it cool.
No, it makes it fun. Yeah.
Yeah. The Sith disappear, and then the next one you see is like Plagueis and his master getting up to their shenanigans.
Are they? I can't remember now. Are they releasing more High Republic novels?
They're gonna go into phase 2, which is like they're backtracking like another 100 years.
Oh, that's right.
To different Jedi.
That's interesting.
I find that to be counterproductive, because like you've introduced us to all these characters whose stories have not fully wrapped up, and then you're like, okay, we're gonna backtrack now to different Jedi, and then I'm assuming they'll bring it back around. But it's like, who would care at that point? Because it's gonna be like at least a couple of years until we get like more of whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe even more, but not immediately after Cognis and Xana. I feel like due to Vectivus' nature, he would have been 100 years before Tenebrous. So, fuck, is Darth Venomous Plagueis' master's other apprentice? I've had a little bit to drink. So our brain's a little dehydrated. Look up Darth Tenebrous. I believe that's Plagueis' master.
How do you spell that?
Ten. Boom, right there, top down.
Oh, nice.
See, the issue is they're both Bith. Darth Tenebrous and Darth Venomous.
Oh, okay.
They're both Bith, and that's like what fucks up my brain.
And that was whose master?
That was Plagueis' master.
Okay.
The KOTOR comics, go to Legends. Get rid of that canon shit.
Okay.
It's like, who cares?
Shit, it brings me back to the top, huh?
Yeah, every time they show an ad.
So when was he introduced? Don't they have appearances?
At the very bottom. He's introduced in the Plagueis book.
Oh, okay.
Which I believe is like the only time he's ever referenced.
Okay.
But
he's not like in.
He's not in any of the movies.
Is he like in the book, or is he just mentioned?
Like the first chapter, he's the head honcho. He's the big cheese. He's like the main Sith Lord. He's the guy.
Okay.
Who's training Plagueis.
A Bith Sith Lord. That's.
I was gonna say. It's one of my favorite jokes from any Star Wars thing is in KOTOR. Griff, who's
KOTOR 1?
The comic.
Oh.
He's like one of Zankarik's like friends. Like they become like an odd friendship, like an odd couple at the beginning of the comic book. But Griff goes, "Is this one of those Bith Lords you guys are always talking about?" And he's like, "It's a Sith Lord." He's like, "Well, whatever."
And then you got Tenebrous.
Who is a Bith Sith Lord. Yeah.
Bith Sith.
That always fucking cracked me up.
Yeah.
But Venomous was like his secret apprentice, and it's like, how much time can one dude really devote to two apprentices? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like how do you have the time in the day?
Yeah.
To like devote to two people.
Yeah. Well, Palpatine was Chancellor and doing all this behind the scenes.
He was really burning the midnight oil.
He was. He must have been.
He had the Rockefeller style work ethic.
He discovered the secret of never sleeping ever.
I mean, that was like because Plagueis is like, I'm gonna get hammered on wine, and then Palpatine killed him in his sleep. So he's like, I'm never gonna fucking sleep. He's like snorting coke in the bathroom in the Senate trying to stay awake. Yeah, Venomous was Tenebrous' sub-apprentice. I love that distinction. It's like apprentice A, apprentice B.
Sub-apprentice.
Yes.
He has sub-tiers of Sith apprentices.
Venomous shows up and tries to kill Plagueis to like prove that he's the actual apprentice. And Plagueis beats him, obviously, in the end. And he like does like a lot of experiments on him to like keep him alive. Like he keeps reanimating him over time, which is like a nightmare for me to continuously be reanimated by a guy who's just torturing me to death.
Yeah.
So Plagueis actually did figure out how to like keep life going. So that wasn't just a thing that Palpatine said to trick Anakin into becoming a kid-killing psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, that's the whole reason they basically wrote that book, was because of that line in the movie, right?
Yeah, and like because Palpatine's like trying so hard not to orgasm, bragging about killing Plagueis. He's like, what a fucking idiot. His apprentice, so sexy, so hot. He was the coolest guy in school. Like, he's trying so hard. He's like licking his lips. He's like, killing him in his sleep. Like, he's so proud of himself. But that book, I went back and reread it. I initially, on my first read, I was like, like I wasn't super hot on it. But because I think I was expecting like a Bane style book.
Yeah.
But going back and rereading it as like an adult, I was like, yeah, it's a really good book. A lot of people really like James Luceno, the guy who wrote that book.
Yeah, he's done a lot of random Star Wars.
He's done like I think he's done like a lot of like licensed stuff.
Okay.
Like in general.
Yeah.
We always shout out Kevin J. Anderson for. Do you just want to like be a guy that shits out an alien book? He's like, yeah, why not? He's like, I got 20 minutes to sit on the toilet.
Okay, I don't know how long we're streaming. What 8:30? We got one more thing to talk about though. We're gonna switch gears a little bit.
You're the real host of In the Basement.
We gotta keep us on track a little bit here.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll just keep going.
Because we don't talk to each other now.
We save all the conversations.
We save all of our conversations for this. So you're getting our first reactions to each other here live in the basement.
Yes.
Anyway. What Shadow of the Sith?
I was supposed to say, but first, close it out of that. The truth about Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock that we were watching beforehand.
Ridiculous. That's
a weird thing that's in the
Shadow of the Sith. Should I bring up an image here so we know what we're talking about?
Yeah, bring it up.
Oh, let's see.
Just click on images.
This is an upcoming.
Right click and like open image in new tab.
This guy here?
Yeah. Open.
This guy?
That's the link.
Oh shit.
Just go to like the Star Wars page that it's on originally.
Yeah.
Just go to all.
That's what I'll do.
That's the Wikipedia article.
Oh shit.
Scroll down a little bit. You were doing so good as host.
I know, I was doing so good. Whatever. We don't need the image.
Boom, Star Wars right there. Scroll up a little bit.
We need to get a mouse.
We do.
Okay.
Here, I'll get this guy.
So that's not the full cover, I guess.
Yeah, we can scroll through it.
That's Luke and Lando, in case we didn't know. And do you want to go first?
I just want to say, every time I think about Lando, I always think about the audiobook where he keeps saying the Love Commander, the name of his ship. Cause I think it's Mark
That's
Thompson.
the name of his ship?
He's like, the Love Commander. Like, he says it every time without fail. But, so I had originally sent this to you while I was on vacation. I was like, you need to read this shit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he panic-strickenly read it half an hour before we started streaming. But
I didn't have time.
I was busy listening to the Revan book. I can't read and listen at the same time.
Exactly.
But I really wanted to get your opinion on it because it's only like a little excerpt. Everyone's already heard about this stuff, and I'm sure it's already been talked about to death. But you know what? You're cooking dinner. You got no one to talk to, so you're listening to us while you're like making bratwurst in the stove.
There you go.
So
Next thing you know, you're in the basement.
One guy's gonna be like, "Holy shit, I was making bratwurst on the stove." But yeah. So I mean, like, it's the first book that's gonna be written with Luke as a main character post like the fall of the Empire,
which on paper sounds cool.
It does sound cool,
but
you go, because your opinion on it I found funny.
The ring wraiths,
sponsored by White Claw.
Oh man, it's just like, yeah, I was reading through it, and I mean it's Exegol. Like, it's Exegol.
Your least favorite planet in Star Wars?
Well, it's from episode 9, and 9 was just such a shit show. Mm-hmm. I mean, Exegol was invented for 9.
How dare you? You're being toxic.
It was
you hate women.
I guess so. It was invented for 9, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like they're I feel like they're just. This is a book where they are just trying to justify poor decisions that they have made in episode 9. Basically, they're trying to retcon the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
And really, the only interesting part of this little excerpt we got was at the end. You want to talk about what happened at the end?
So they're doing the Charles Soule, where there's just some poor soul who's like got to be like, oh god, how do I make sense of this? But yeah, they're on Exegol, which why is Lando there?
Yeah, that's the
other thing is like they're just shoehorning Lando in. But yeah, they're on Exegol, and like Luke is looking around for Jedi artifact for like Sith artifacts and yada yada whatever. So this was like one of the really big complaints about you go to open image in new tab.
There we go.
But that was one of like the really big complaints about episode 9 was in the Vader comic, Vader had been to Exegol. Like Palpatine's like he's always just trying to get him to prove his loyalty. So he goes to Exegol, so it's like, why wouldn't Vader in his dying breath be like, by the way, there's this thing happening on the Sith planet out in the unknown regions.
Yeah, so Vader knew of this.
He was fully aware.
Yeah.
So I think the justification is that this will be the justification. That at some point, Luke found out about it on his own, and Vader's going to know, well, that's my boy. And I know, like, through pulling himself up by his bootstraps, he would figure it out. So I'm also, like, I don't care about Exegol at all. Same opinion as you. I think it's just them trying to, like, sweep canon problems under the rug. But I was enticed by, like, the last couple sentences where Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost shows up. And I find it hilarious that he gets to be young, but Obi-Wan's
I know his
old dude.
It says like his sharp jawline and his young features.
Pecs glistening.
They do. I don't know that Adam Christopher. Has he done this over?
I have no clue.
I don't know that I like his writing so far. I mean,
the first thing you said was, "Man, the writing is not good in this."
Yeah, there was some lines like if I see if I can remember, one line was like, he's fighting the ring wraiths or whatever. There's 9
ring wraiths.
Did we talk about this yet? There's 9 wraith looking. They're essentially described as ring wraiths, and there's 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which there was 9 ring wraiths, right? Am I crazy?
Google it.
No, there was 9. I'm gonna stand firm. Somebody in the chat will correct me if I'm wrong. But
it was actually some dude.
They gotta push it through glasses.
Guy taking a break from making his bratwurst. Actually.
Anyway, he's fighting them, and the line was like, Luke faced off with the 9 shadows or whatever, but Luke Skywalker was not afraid. Luke Skywalker's never afraid, or something. Just some cheesy like.
Schlock.
Oh my god, this is like middle grade stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. I don't know Adam Christopher. I don't know what he's done, but
yeah, I was also like a little bit confused on like, do they have red lightsabers? Because like they're described as like beams of light, right? At some point,
that was confusing.
Also, they say laser sword, which really pissed you off.
Which this guy on screen here.
That's not Ochi of Bastoon.
But that's not the wraiths we're talking about.
No.
Yeah.
I think they mentioned in the article that he's a new character. And so
that will be introduced, presumably, in this book.
So he won't be a Knight of Ren because...
So it's a new Sith.
Maybe? Because they show the previous leader of the Knights of Ren, who is a guy named Ren. And he's handsome as shit. He's a total hunk.
Of course.
Like Silver Fox. And
just like young Snoke.
Young sexy Snoke whipping his hair back and forth out getting out of the pool. But he's the original leader of the night. I shouldn't say the original, but the dude from that was leading the Knights of Ren before is not that guy, and that guy is shown in Crimson Dawn, like the comic series, as still being the leader of the Knights of Ren. So, either that dude in the artwork is going to turn out to have
This dude.
Yeah, he's either going to turn out to have like long white hair, and he's just going to be like a younger version of that same guy.
You can't really tell in that image. It's just kind of all kind of faded to red and black.
Yeah, so I don't. I'm hoping,
except for the
Sith.
green lightsaber, I guess.
Yes, I'm hoping that it's Sith, and I'm hoping it's not just like a vision of the Sith, because that's literally the whole point of. That's what I like the most about Star Wars, which I know that people want to get away from, but I want it. Like I still want the Sith to be like the.
What do you not want to get away from?
I want it to continue to be the story of like the Jedi versus the Sith. I like all the Force stuff.
Well, yeah, to me that is
Star Wars.
Like whenever there's like a clone book or like the Bad Batch, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I'm a bad Star Wars fan, but like I'm just like you. This is a Force Jedi Sith heavy channel. So
it's like having like a fantasy book with no magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hoping that the Exegol stuff is leading towards Sith once again being the main villain. But
how can they? Because we already know what happens after this, right?
Yeah, that's like just inherently the problem with like prequel stuff. But like prequels to things, not the prequels of Star Wars. But I think this stuff is all leading towards Disney series or like a Disney Plus series or another.
It's gotta be
another trilogy of movies.
Yeah,
it's gotta be going towards something. But I've always liked the idea of Luke going around and finding out about Jedi stuff and finding out about the Sith. I like that stuff. So
yeah, I'm not mad about that it's Luke and he's like, well, he start in the snippet we got here, he starts on Tython and he's just like
don't even get me started on Tython.
We know. But he starts there. Jesus. And he's unintentionally brought to Exegol, to my understanding.
Yeah,
right?
he's like warped by like that.
He's like what the hell? Like,
oh no! And Lando's just like,
well, Lando's not in the snippet that we get.
I like
here.
to think that he's on Tython, like just watching Luke go like this, like 2 hours. Lord of Edge says, yeah, the excerpt was pretty damn stupid.
Yeah,
I think they're banking on the idea because like Clone Wars fans, and I'm like sort of a fan of the Clone Wars show. I like it, but it's not for me. It's like it wasn't made for me.
Yeah,
it was made for like younger fans at that point in time. But I think they're banking on Clone Wars specific fans being like, "Oh, it's Anakin," but that's still not enough for me to care about the pickled Snoke factory. It's just not.
Yeah, the fact that like I like that it's like I've always loved Luke. Luke has always been one of my favorites.
I mean, yeah, of course, it has to be.
And I like that it's him. It's a new novel. He's exploring Force shit, but it's just like it just feels like a justification of 9 and
you just can't get behind that.
It just deadens the whole effect of it. You know what I mean?
And
it's like,
just why couldn't it have been Korriban?
Yeah.
Why did it have to be
the Sith home world, right? That's the home world of the Sith
But it's renamed Morban, just on a whim.
What?
During the Clone Wars
canon?
show, like in Clone Wars, before Disney was like the new canon. Or whatever.
So still in Legends. It was renamed?
The Clone Wars show just like fundamentally does not fit into Legends. Like so much stuff contradicts Legends. They're not compatible. Like Quinlan Voss, the main character of like the Republic comic books for the majority of those books, of the comic books, he's like an undercover Jedi spy, like infiltrating Count Dooku's inner circle by being like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a bad guy too." And I mean, he's really good at convincing them of that. That whole comic book is very edgy. But he is like a super serious, stoic. He has to pretend to be like a darker character or whatever. And then in the Clone Wars show, he's like, "I'm Jamin Man. I'm a wacky guy."
So they totally like...
Dude, you should have fucking seen Star Wars internet at that point. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Like everybody
I can
was
imagine.
like, "What the fuck?"
I can imagine.
So... the Clone Wars show like changes people's personalities, it changes locations, it changes the names of things. Like things happen at different dates. So they had changed the name of Korriban to Moraband.
Yeah.
And Darth Bane's ghost, Force Spirit, is on that planet because Yoda goes there to do some ghost hunting. And he's got like his EKG thing out or whatever. He's like, I'm sure it's called something else. But Bane looks like a samurai.
Just for no reason.
He doesn't look like.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like they just slightly like alter thing. Is it for the show's aesthetic?
The Moraband name, the Korriban to Moraband name change happens for literally no reason.
Could that be though that it technically is ancient Sith history? You know, history names get lost, get jumbled. Could it be explained that way?
So they saw people's reaction to it, and they were like, "No, it was called Korriban at a point in time, but it changed to Moraband."
Yeah,
because George Lucas wanted it to be called Moraband instead of Korriban.
I mean, I guess I'm fine with that. But
Quinlan Voss was way more tolerable in TCW than in the Republic. I sort of can see where you're coming from there. Because he's super, super fucking edgelord. He's edgelord 95. Is
that who wrote that?
Yes. I find it ironic that edgelord 95 is like too edgy for me. But
yeah, come on, edgelord.
It's all written by John Ostrander, we've talked about him before. I'm a big fan of his, but I can dismiss the edginess of his stuff because I just like it. You just like it. Like, you can't explain it. You just enjoy it. But he's written to be, I'm dark and brooding and no one understands me, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I found him less tolerable in the Clone Wars show because he's just a totally different character. If it was just any other character, it's like you don't have to make this beloved character from Legends a completely different personification of somebody. But circling back to the Shadow of the Sith, I will read it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's already out on Audible, I'll probably pre-order it.
No, it's June, I believe.
Look that up.
No, I was looking. It said June.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I still had to buy print media. But I'll read it for sure, and I'll kind of save my reservations about it. I don't know anything about it.
They're probably not going to give us a free copy now.
I mean, they 100% never were. Even if we were like a really large YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They'd be like, this guy had a heat stroke in our park. There's no way we're getting this guy a book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'll check it out. And there's a chance that it can be... I give all of it a chance. Which you do too. Like, you've read way more High Republic stuff than me.
Yeah.
So you've really given all this stuff a chance.
Yeah.
So... if it is just fundamentally good, I'm not gonna like lie and say that I don't like it. Like, there's a lot of people on the internet who do that. They'll just be like, "It's all bad. It's all terrible," and there's no saying it's good. When something is good, it's good.
It doesn't make me hopeful. This little clip we got from it
is definitely written by. It sounds. It's the 50 Shades of Grey of Star Wars. Or 50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction of Twilight.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 layers removed from like being written by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Exactly. It just, I don't know. It doesn't make me excited. I like this cover though, actually. Because
Luke does not look. There's like a Red Letter Media bit where they're like, he looks like Billy Mays, the dude who sold. Really? He does kind of look like that in episode 8, but he looks like more like how I would want him to look. He doesn't have like the weird long hair. The long hair didn't fit Luke. Yeah. In episode 7, and when he shows back up in episode 8, like as younger Luke, he looks a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But if it gets into like it's the Sith lore stuff, because we've been so deprived of Sith stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because Palpatine's a Sith, but he's like the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the end game of the Sith. It's like once you get to like the late stage Sithdom, that's him. He's killed everybody else. Everything's a fucking trick. He doesn't want anybody to be better than him. He wants to be like the final bad guy.
Yeah.
So I want to get some like Sith warlord stuff where it's just like there's like a legion of Sith and they're constantly slicing each other's throats and backstabbing each other and all that other stuff. I want to find out what new canon's version of that is.
I don't know. I don't know when we're gonna get that from new canon.
I mean, hopefully this has something involved, because I don't know how old Ben Solo would be in this.
Yeah.
He's got to be like teenager.
I mean, the sequels aren't giving it to us. High Republic's not giving it to us.
They gave us like a frame of it in the comic book where they were like, the Drengir were held back by the Sith.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the only thing you get.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They also, like, there's a canon Obi-Wan and Anakin adventure where Anakin thinks about leaving the Jedi Order, and they're like on some like steampunk world.
This is an older novel you're talking
This is a comic book that came out in new
okay.
canon. And the people on that planet are like, well, aren't you going to kill all these people? Because they're like from an isolated planet. They don't really know what Jedi are. But in their history, they've interacted with Sith. So they think that the Jedi, they're like, oh, they have laser swords. Aren't you just going to kill all these people? Like, your blade's not red. We get like little snippets of like what the Sith were previous to the prequels.
Yeah.
But we're not getting that meat
Yeah.
of it. You know what I mean?
Maybe that will come.
Hear me out, Quinlan Voss. No, okay, no. My big issue with it is he's basically a plot device. So much of their public story is just following Quinlan, changing sides of their outfits, when it could be following the actual Clone Wars. I can see where you're coming from there. He's like a double, triple agent. But, I mean, he's involved in the Clone Wars stuff, and they have like kind of one-off stories in the Republic that involve the greater Clone Wars stuff. And I will always justify the Republic comic book existing because it gave me Darth Krayt, and I fucking love Darth Krayt, and nobody can tell me any different. And if you do, I will personally come to your house and fight you.
You love your Darth Krayt.
I love my Darth Krayt.
You do.
I'm just a huge fan for John Ostrander. But before we wrap up, is there any other thoughts you've had for Star Wars or the Cosmere?
The Cosmere.
I really want to talk to you about the Cosmere.
Yeah.
That'll be off podcast.
Well, that'll be a little side podcast.
Yeah,
we do sometime.
We'll do like a one-off episode just about the Cosmere. That's gonna like no one's gonna give a shit.
Barb's
about
Basement After Dark. The
Yeah.
Cosmere.
Yeah, the Cosmere.
Not that the Cosmere is sultry or anything, but
I mean, no,
can
it's
be.
not.
No,
But
no.
yeah, is there anything else that you've had on your mind since we've been depriving ourselves of Star Wars conversation?
Oh man, we got through a lot of it just now. I'm happy about that. I'm gonna keep going with those Old Republic novels, which I never did.
Oh man, I'm really curious to see your opinion of Fatal Alliance.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about. I feel like.
Because if you didn't,
I was gonna do Deceive next. Should I do Fatal Alliance?
do Deceived. You'll like Deceived more.
Yeah.
But that's
the
also,
that's the Darth Malgus stuff.
Yeah. Darth Malgus has run his course. Stop reintroducing him to SWTOR.
Yeah.
He's the new like bad guy of the latest expansion, and it's like, all right.
Yeah. See. Yeah, I know that's how he's being portrayed in SWTOR, but I'm kind of curious to get like just his backstory, like where he came from, what's going on.
It's got some like, without spoiling anything, it's got some good like Sith Empire culture stuff in it, where it's kind of shows what the inner workings and machinations are of the Sith.
Yeah, one quick note here that I don't think I ever realized how the Jedi like didn't know that the Sith still existed or didn't interact with them at all.
They're like out in wild space. They didn't know.
I'm talking like Revan era, like KOTOR era.
They thought that like Revan's.
I didn't realize that because you get like sort of mixing in SWTOR, right? And
not to circle too far back, but the other thing with that book is in KOTOR.
You're talking Revan now?
Revan. The KOTOR in KOTOR 2, it's presented like most of the Jedi are dead. Like there was like the first Jedi purge.
Yeah. And
Meecha Surik is supposed to like be the one. Your companions are the ones who like reinvigorate the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
But in the Revan book, Meecha Surik is post KOTOR 2, and the Jedi.
Yeah, you don't get that sense. I don't remember. Granted, it's been a long time since I did KOTOR 2, but I don't remember that.
On stream.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
We should definitely do that.
So, what is to come for Barb's Basement in the next?
A lot of editing on my end because we're behind.
We got more Vader content coming out,
which that's like been our main growth
coming at you.
But we're gonna continue to do single issue Star Wars topics, like single like comic book issues and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because we legitimately enjoy reading the comics. You've been having a great time with Vader,
Oh yeah.
and I just constantly read Star Wars comics on Marvel Unlimited, regardless. I'm gonna go back to doing Dark Times because I really
Nice.
want to get to
Dark
that.
Times is good.
I don't know if Zim's still on, but I want to circle around to that like loose cannibalism section of Dark Times.
Well, you did a video on what's his name?
Dash Jenner.
Dash Jenner, yeah.
But I want to circle back around to like some of the, like the dark stuff that happens
Yeah.
in that. But yeah, the going forward, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. We keep growing, and we just want to keep growing because, like we said, we want to. We always talk about this stuff in our free time, so why not keep doing it?
Well, I doubt Barb's gonna let you out to go to anywhere
Yeah.
ever again. Now that you are,
and now your kid's down here too. So
that's right. That's right.
So look forward to more shorts content, but Zach really wants to write like a 10-minute long video essay.
It's coming at you.
And I have a longer video script already written. So we're going to get back to VO, get back to editing. We want to do In the Basement every Sunday. It's just difficult to line up with like our personal lives and stuff like that. So
we do. What do you mean? What do you mean personal lives?
I mean, because sometimes Barb will come in and put one of those like cubicle walls to divide us.
Yeah.
So we have to like yell through them.
True.
But yeah, our hope is that we can do it most Sundays. We weren't able to do it this last Sunday because Barb gave me that hall pass to go to Disney World.
And you're gone this Sunday, correct?
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, other than that, thank you for joining us once again here in Barb's basement.
It's been lonely, but now Brian's back. Now you guys are back.
And just remember, when you join the Discord, when you subscribe on YouTube, when you follow us on TikTok, that means you're also stuck here. You're not allowed to go to any other YouTube channels.
You were stuck in the basement.
It's an intranet, like how you would have at work.
Mm-hmm.
It only has Barb's basement stuff.
Not allowed to leave. Not allowed to leave the basement once you're in the basement.
But until then, we'll keep you guys posted on the Discord, on the YouTube about when we're going to stream next. Other than that, I've been Brian from Barb's Basement, and this has been...
And I'm Zach.
This has been... And I'm Zach.
Oh, sorry.
God damn it, Johnson, you got that raise. Until
We
then,
did
we'll see
it.
you next time.
So what if we lose? We could always be afraid of something new. 'Cause we're